Everybody's muted. Okay, so what we're gonna do is the first few minutes, we're gonna teach you guys how to engage your core. We use our core a lot, but lots of times we're not using it correctly. And what happens is as we lift heavy weights, our core is meant to kind of pull our abs in together, right? And create this natural weight belt, like if you've seen like some good lifters, they don't wear a belt because they're using their core to keep that all engaged. And like I said, I'm gonna spend the first few minutes speaking specifically to the women, because when we have babies, what happens is, and I'm gonna take my shirt off so you guys can see what's going on with my abs. But what happens is when we have babies, our core, we lose our transverse abdominal core, and so what happens is our core builds out instead of pulls in and acts as a natural weight belt. Okay, so we want to learn how to re-engage that core, and this can be good for guys as well. So the movements that we're doing, you're not going to feel them like when we do abs, we're building our outer abs. And what we're going to do first is work on those transverse abdominal abs. The transverse abdominals start here and wrap all the way back to your back. And so you can feel how that can really keep your back safe, everything safe, right? But it's harder to be able to identify that muscle. So I'm going to teach you how to do that first. And then the reason I want to teach you that first is because then when we go into the ab work that we're going to do, if you lose that transverse abdominal pulling together, you'll be able to see and tell, and you can modify the movement. Does that make sense? Any questions? Give me a thumbs up if it makes sense. Awesome. Okay. So 1 second. I gotta get my paper. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm gonna put the computer down low so that you can see what's going on. And then the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna test for what's called diastasis recti. So diastasis recti is when you have babies and you have coning in your stomach. So like if I lift my legs, do you see how my stomach cones? So that's where there's a separation between the transverse abdominal wall. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your back against the wall, floor, tuck your hips under, feet are slightly bent, and you're gonna use your hand to slightly lift. Use your 2 fingers and push around your belly button up and down and see if there's a gap. If there's a gap, like if you can push your fingers in, so you're not contracting, you're trying to stay relaxed, and then just lift up and see if you can feel a gap. If there is a gap, that means you have diastasis recti, and that's just the separation of those transverse abdominal walls. Somebody's trying to get it, so hold on 1 second. Submit. Okay. So have you guys ever tested for this before? No? Have you ever noticed, so I didn't notice that I had this I didn't even know about any of this when I was having babies until I had my twins. And then I noticed that my abs were like building outwards. And so if either of you guys could you guys push through?
Yeah, I could.
Yeah. What about you, Trevor?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna that's like the number one most important thing, is that we're gonna make sure that we are keeping our transverse abdominal engaged, okay? So the first few movements we're gonna do are going to teach you how to do that. So the first thing we're gonna do is called pelvic tilt. And guys, this might seem dumb, but I promise you, you can still work those muscles. It's a smaller movement. So what we're gonna do is your back is extended like this, and then you're just tilting and squeezing. So think about wrapping. You're wrapping your back muscle all the way to the front, okay? Then you're gonna release and tilt. And as you do this, you're tightening your pelvic floor as well, okay? So we're gonna do 10 to 20 reps. If you start to lose that tension, you're gonna release your legs, relax, and then bring it back together, okay? So we're gonna start with 10 to 20 reps of that, all right? Ready, go. So you're touching, squeeze, release. Tilt, squeeze, release. Every time you do this, you're tightening your pelvic floor as well. Should be able to talk during this whole thing. You're not holding your breath, you're just tightening. I'm gonna watch you guys for a second. So really exaggerate that hip tilt, Cassie. So you'll have space in between your back and the floor, and then you'll close that gap. Space, close. So you'll feel this in your lower abs a lot. About 5 more reps. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is called a heel slide. There's 2 options. Guys, you might be strong enough to be able to do the second option. So the first option is you're pressing your back against the floor, tapping your transverse abdominal. Hold on, I'm gonna mute you guys really quick. Okay. We had, oh, there's Sue. Okay, so all you're doing is you're wrapping your transverse abdominal, and then you're sliding your right foot out, keeping everything nice and tight. Slide your right foot in. We're gonna do 10 on the right, 10 on the left. Guys, you can do a pelvic thrust, keeping your hips high, keeping this nice and tight, and do the same thing. So there's 2 levels. It's more important that you can keep your transverse abdominal engaged than it is to advance to the next level. You should be squeezing everything, your pelvic floor, your lower abs, transverse abdominal, everything should be nice and tight. Small of your back pressed against the floor. After you've done 10, you're gonna release and relax everything. Take a couple deep breaths. Just like if we were doing like a bicep curl or any kind of squat, anything, we wouldn't keep the tension all the time. We want to release and then contract, right? We're gonna go again, go ahead and contract. Tilting that pelvic forward, sliding the opposite foot. If you start to fatigue and you can tell you're losing that tightness, then relax, take a few deep breaths, and finish the reps. All right. The next one, you're going to be on your hands and knees. So your shoulders, your hands are going to be right under your shoulders. Your knees are right under your hips. This one, we're going to fill our diaphragm with air and then let the air out, wrapping the transverse abdominal. So I'm going to show you what it looks like first. You're going to hear me make a S, like a hissing sound. So this is what it looks like. So you can see how I've contracted everything to make it harder. Guys, if you guys want to make it harder, or ladies, what you're going to do is watch my heels, watch my feet. I'm going to do that same thing. Come up off of my knees and hold. Release, release the breath. Do it again. We're going to do 10 reps here. This is not something we want to rush. Okay, so this is going to take a minute or two to do. So you're going to fill the belly with air, press it all out. Come up on your toes and hold and release, reset. This whole time you should be pulling up in your pelvic floor as well. Release, fill your belly. And again, you're not holding your breath, you're just holding the contraction. Four more. Three more. Two more. Last one. Nice job. Were you guys able to feel that? Was that hard at all?
I don't know if I did it right.
Yeah, you missed.
No, I could feel it.
I felt it in my upper abs.
Guys, were you guys able to, was that hard at all for you? Like, were you feeling the contraction?
I don't think I did it right. I didn't really feel much.
Okay. So basically, like, if I were to tell you to contract your bicep or your tricep, for example, you would do this, right? You would hold that contraction. And even though you didn't have any weight, eventually that would get really hard, right? To hold that contraction. It's the same thing. So when we're holding the contraction of our transverse abdominals, we're pushing out and then contracting in and just holding. So even if you don't have diastasis recti, you're still contracting everything as hard as you possibly can. So by doing that, you're able to engage those muscles. So then when we move on to this next section, you'll be able to feel if those muscles are engaged and that the body is pulling the abs in so you have a nice flat stomach instead of a stomach that builds out. Does that make sense?
I didn't understand the whole S sound.
So the S sound for me, it just helps you to be able to tell that I'm letting all my air out. So as I let my air out, I'm contracting in. And that's why I made the S sound. You don't have to make the S sound, but for me, that helps. Does that make sense? It's kind of hard to do without being in person, but we're gonna do our best. Okay, ready to move on? All right, so we're gonna do one more exercise to help engage that transverse abdominal, and then we're gonna move on to our workout, which is called 300 abs, because we're doing 300 abs. It's a stumper there, huh? So the next one we're gonna do is we're gonna stay on all fours again. We're gonna do that same thing where we pull everything in, and this time what we wanna do is we wanna be able to keep that contraction as our limbs are extended from our body. So the first step will be to just be able to extend one leg. If you can hold that contraction, then the next step will be to extend one leg and one arm, and then reverse. So we want it, but the goal is to be able to keep that transverse abdominal pulled in nice and tight. So if you start to lose that, then you're gonna stop, take a few breaths, pull it back in, and continue on with the movement, okay? So another thing is I don't wanna see your backs arching like this. Everything stays nice and straight. All you're doing is bringing that belly in. Your hips are gonna slightly rotate in, so everything stays nice and tight here, all right? We're gonna do 10 reps as well. So you're gonna do the same thing, fill your belly with air, let it out, contract, and then extend. And you can keep that tension and keep going. You don't have to fill the belly every time. But if you feel yourself start to lose it, then relax, take a breath, and do it again. I can tell my core is getting tired. I can't do as many before I start to lose it. And it doesn't feel like fatigue like it would if I was doing like 100 sit-ups. It's a different fatigue. All right, guys. Go ahead and release that. So hopefully that helped you to kind of learn how to engage your core properly, because now we're going to move on. And if you guys can't keep that core engaged, we're going to make some substitutions, okay? So we're going to do these together. So I don't really need to tell you exactly what we're doing because we're going to stay together. But I'll tell you the first 4 movements. So the first movement is 30 crunches. So when we do crunches, again, I want to make sure that you guys aren't only doing the movements if you can keep your lower abs engaged and pulled in. So when we do our crunches, Our hands are right behind our ears. Our stomach needs to be flat, so no coning. So you're rotating your hips forward so that your stomach is nice and flat. It's a small movement. So 30 crunches into 30 bicycle crunches. This is where, if you have diastasis recti, you really need to pay attention to if your stomach is coning. So if it starts to cone, the opposite foot is gonna stay on the ground, and you're just going to alternate like this, okay? You need to be able to pull that, make that flat stomach, okay? So 30 bicycle crunches, 30 toe touches, like that, into 20 reverse crunches. So reverse crunch, your arms are by your side. You're tucking your hips up and slowly coming down. This is another one where you really have to pay attention to if your stomach is coning when your heels hit the ground. If they are, then you're just not gonna come down as far. You're gonna stay right here. Okay? So those are that's our first 100. So we're gonna start with that, take a quick break, and then we'll move on to the next 100.
I'm sorry, but what's coning?
So you missed the first part. So if you see,
Never said like. It's okay.
okay, so if you look at my stomach, because I've had babies, my abs have separated, and I didn't learn how to pull them back together the right way. And so it's something that I've been working on, and I talk to a lot of our members about that are in that stage of life. So you see how my stomach is coning? It's coming up like to a point.
Uh-oh.
So my transverse abdominal muscles aren't strong enough for me to be able to do like leg levers because my stomach cones, and I have a gap in between the muscles here.
Okay.
So I have to be careful not to do things that will enhance that. All of us that have problems peeing when we jump rope, this is all tied together. So we're gonna fix it. And then also when we lift heavy weights, that's another time where we have to really pay attention to that coning. Okay? So that's what I mean. All right, so we're gonna move through those first 4 movements. We're starting with 30 crunches. Again, we're not trying to bust through these. The slower, the harder these are, okay? So let's take our time a little bit. Here we go, 30 crunches, feet on the ground, hands behind the ears, back pressed against the floor. If you're not sure if your abs are coming up, sometimes I'll put one hand on my abs to kind of see what they're doing. Okay, I'm at 30. You guys there? We're gonna move on to 20 bicycle crunches. Again, if you need to keep one foot on the floor at all times, that's fine. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20. Moving on to 30 toe touches, like straight up in the air. Reach for those toes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Last 20, we're doing reverse crunches. Feet together, rolling up and back. Control the down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep those transverse abdominals engaged. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Almost there. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Arms above the head. Let's stretch it out really, really quick. We're going to move on to the next 4 movements. We're going to do a side plank with a hip raise. We're going to do 15 of those, 30 crunches, side plank on the other side with a hip raise, and then Russian twist. Russian twists are another one that we need to make sure we can keep our tummy pulled in. For me, I need to keep my heels on the ground in order to not cone. So it's up to you if you want to keep your heels up or down, okay? Starting with those side plank hip raises. So stacking your feet, making sure your elbows under the shoulder, lifting up, 15, go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Straight into 30 crunches and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Opposite side, plank hip raises. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Straight into Russian twist. Ready? Go. They're 2 count. We're doing 40. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, halfway, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, last 10, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretch it out. 4 more movements and we're done, guys. Big stretch. We've got bicycle crunches again, oblique V-ups, which look like this. You're on your side. You can do 1 leg or 2 legs. 1 leg or 2 legs, okay? And then we have 20 reverse crunches, 15 oblique V-ups on the other side, and then 10 leg lifts. Okay, starting with our bicycle crunches. Ready? Again, we don't need to speed through these. Go. 1, we're doing 30. 2, 3, 4, keep a flat tummy. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 15 oblique V-up. You choose your side. You can decide if you want to do one or both legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20 reverse crunches. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those abs are burning. Nice job, guys. Keep it up. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. V-ups on the other side. Here we go. Almost there, guys. Opposite arm stays out in front of you. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Last one. 10 leg leggers. Feet are on the ground. I'm going to do one leg at a time because I can't do both. So I'm just going to do keeping my swallow bag back on the floor. Transverse abdominal engaged. I'm going to do 10 on each leg. Almost there, guys. Working up a little bit of a sweat here. Keep the small of your back pressed against the floor. Nine and 10. Nice. Let's get a good stretch overhead. Arms come up. Stretch out those abs. Woo! That was good. All right, I want to hear from you all. How was it?
I definitely do abs wrong. Like, I can feel the difference, like 100%.
That's awesome. Awesome, and it's harder. Can't do as many, right?
No, and I always thought going faster and doing more was better, but it takes me forever to feel it. So like I can tell the difference.
Yeah, you can really tell the difference when you're keeping that transverse abdominal engaged. And just think about wrapping it together like this.
Yeah.
So, when I post this video, I'll post a picture of what the transverse abdominals look like, so you can see what I mean by diastasis recti and how they stretch this. There's a space, and that's why you get that coning.
Yeah.
Muscle. There's no muscle there. Your insides are coming out because there's no muscle to pull it in. So, how'd you guys like it? Are your abs burning?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good.
That's good.
Nice job, guys. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Tirsa.
We post this, and then we'll do this again next week.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Tirsa, for some reason, I didn't get anything.
Oh, where are you?
I ended up going back trying to find the Facebook post from earlier, and I went through there. I didn't have any place to go.
I texted. Did you get the text I sent out around 5? Let's see, it was probably around 5.
Just for the yoga. No.
Really? So how did you find this link then?
I had to go back into Facebook where someone talked about it earlier, and there was the Zoom on there, but then I had to copy it. That's why it took me so long to get there.
Sorry, and you probably sent me a text and I had my notifications turned off.
Okay, just ignore it. Yeah.
This link now, it will be the same link for next week.
Yeah, I don't have it though.
Well, what
Like
do you mean?
I just copied it.
You want me to text it to you?
That'd be good. And then
I'll text it to you right now.
Thanks.
Okay. Good job, Sue. See ya.